Great. Today I have a doozy for you. This number one fundamental skill, ability, or technique that if you learn it will have a drastic impact on your life and your sales. So if that sounds like something you'd want to know how to do, if you want to know that one ability that you should have in your arsenal or in your toolbox to be able to help improve your life, improve your sales, and improve that miscommunication that you sometimes run into, then this video is for you. But first, be sure to subscribe for more videos just like this. So what is it? That number one ability, that one skill that I'm referring to. You see, this one technique will ensure that others feel understood. What that means for you is when you speak, they're going to actually hear what it is you have to say rather than formulating the plan within their mind. Have you ever experienced that before? It will also help you avoid conflict and miscommunication. Think about all the times you have talked to someone, walked away, and when you came back, it's as if they didn't hear a damn thing you said. How would you like to be able to avoid that in the future? But most importantly, if you master this skill, if you master this ability, this sales training technique, something I use in every program I do, you'll be able to find out either your spouses, family members, friends, colleagues, potential client. You'll be able to find out what their true intention is, true thought, and what is really holding them back. Just imagine this. If you could actually understand what someone is really thinking, even if they're unsure themselves, what kind of impact would that have on your business or your life? Being able to go into their mind and create clarity out of a thought that from a forefront seems like confusion, or the actions contradict what it is they said. If so, then you need to work on this ability right now. So what is it? Well, that skill, what I'm referring to, is the power of a question. Look, if you're like me, as soon as I heard that, the power of a question, are you kidding me? I already know how to ask questions, but here, bear with me. Let me ask you this. Do you have an open mind? Because if you do, this one technique will have a transformational experience on your business and in your life. So how about we make a deal? If I can convince you of this in 3 examples, will you give it a try? Maybe leave a comment below about your experience. Does that sound fair to you? Worst case scenario, maybe you're right. Maybe this isn't for you. But there is a reason why I use this and discuss this and go into great detail in our Sales and Leadership Mastery program. And how come this one technique, when understood, that's a key, when understood, can get instant results almost immediately. But like I said, let me see if I can prove it to you with 3 simple examples. All right? First one, I want you to think back to the last argument you had with either your spouse or a family member. You know, the one that was a back and forth debate? It just kept escalating, felt like it got nowhere. No matter how hard you tried, they just couldn't understand your point. Maybe they felt the same way. Think about it for a moment. In that moment, really bring yourself back to that debate. Think of the point you were trying to get across. Imagine, how would you feel in that moment if instead of them arguing back, they stopped and asked a question of clarification? Took a moment to really try to understand what it is you were saying. Really tried to understand the point you had. What kind of difference would that have made in the argument? Would you have felt heard if they stopped and said, so if I get what you're saying, you're saying insert blank. Would you feel understood? Would the energy from the emotion come down a little bit? If they heard you and they repeated it back to you in their own language or using yours, and you actually agreed with them, that you know they understood you, would you take a moment to hear them out? If they go, okay, so you're saying this is, does that sound a bit right? Yeah? You know, I understand, but what I'm saying is this. Would you then take a moment to hear them? Would the argument have gone the same way as it did? Maybe, maybe not. Now, we can't control them. That's what I know for sure. But what we can control is you can control you. So if you want to be an influence, you want to persuade the outcome of that particular situation, whether it's with your spouse or a wife or a colleague, you can stop and ask a question. Questions, add the S on the end. Be sure to go deep. Understand them and don't stop asking questions until you know, they know, you understand them. It's one thing for you to know you get them. It's one thing for you to know you've heard them. It's a completely different game altogether for them to feel heard. And by asking questions and clarifying to make sure that you've heard them correctly, that is how you can have a huge impact on the outcome. But that's personal life. How does this relate to sales and my sales training? What is it we use this for in business? Well, let me ask you this. Have you ever had a colleague or a client? You explain, they know what you need. They know exactly what they need. You have offered them the service. You've offered them the outcome or the solution, but they still go away and don't do anything. They're hesitant to take action. They're unwilling to commit. What if what they were saying wasn't the real reason behind why they were saying it? For example, not that long ago, I was working with potential clients. A couple of clients, they were working together, and I'm having the conversation. And the one client, the one partner, is saying, well, we just don't have the time to commit right now. We're really, really, really busy. The other client, however, was saying they don't have the funds for it. It was a lot of money for them to invest and they were unsure of the outcome. When I dug deep into the conversation, when I asked questions and got clarification, I was able to find out that it was a time commitment, but it wasn't a time commitment that they didn't have the time. They were unsure that if they invested the time, would it get the outcome they needed? Would it have a big enough impact on their business right now? And it turns out the one talking about money was actually saying the same thing. It had nothing to do with the money, but more they were looking for clarification. They were hesitant on whether they could invest the time and the money right now to get the results they need right now because they were in a dire need. All right. So think about it again. Just imagine an experience with you and a client where you had a conversation. They said something and you responded back by telling them the solution. All right. And yet it still didn't go anywhere. Imagine though, if instead of assuming that they said the words right the first time, which by the way, very few people ever do, imagine if you came back and asked questions, dug deeper. So for example, person A, right? Colleague. Well, we're unsure if we have the time for that right now. We've got a lot on our plate. Well, thank you. So what I'm hearing you saying is that with everything you have going on right now, being able to dedicate the time to this will be a challenge. Yes? Is that what you're saying? Well, yeah, we're just unsure if we can commit that time right now. Thank you. So if I can show you how we can do this by using the time you are now, just making your time more efficient and reallocate a bit of the time you're using now unproductively, if I could show you how you can use the same amount of time you're using now with a couple of small tweaks to get that big impact, would that be something you'd be interested in? Well, yeah, no, if we can do it without adding in all kinds of extra time, that'd be great. So do you see how having that conversation, I know I did it in back and forth, by asking the question, instead of accepting just the time as the obstacle or the objection, by digging a little bit deeper and finding out what the true concern is, which is still time, but more the time invested, I can then tailor my pitch or tailor my offer specifically to meet their needs and ensure they, one, feel heard, that I understand where they're coming from, and two, that I'm creating my product or service to solve their particular problem. So scenario number 3. See, sales is easy. If we really break it down to it, it's find out what people want, what they need, and give it to them. Find out what someone wants enough or needs enough, and you'll overcome any other objection like price or time or etc. You just got to really find out what it is they really want, what they really need. What is their motivation? What is their passion? What is their drive? What is their pressure? So imagine, in scenario number 3, you're at a networking event or an association or an organization, doesn't really matter where, and you're talking with a potential individual. You don't know if they're a client or not. You don't know if they're a fit for what it is you offer. Instead of going in there, when someone says, so what do you do? And you just jump straight into, well, maybe you've done it, maybe not. If you're like me, you've probably done it before. You jump right into your elevator pitch, explaining all the products and services and everything you do. Right? You do all the talking and they're listening, and then all of a sudden you see their eyes glaze over. Have you ever experienced that before, or is that just me? Good, not alone. Perfect. Imagine if in that scenario, instead of jumping into it, when, let's say you asked me, what is it I do? I responded with, I'm a corporate coach. I specialize in sales, and basically I'm just a short-term team member that jumps in and helps kick butt when you need. Right? Curious, what is it you do? Now I've been able to flip. I gave them my pitch, but now I've been able to flip it back to my question on them. Now maybe I could ask a better question, what is it you do? It could be, why do you ask? Does that sound like something you're interested in? Yeah, going too quickly into the sale, but it does if your goal is to make sales immediately. It's a great way to get into it. But by turning the question around, the question of this is this: who has the power in a conversation? Who is it? Yeah, it's the person asking the questions. You know what I mean? If you do, if you agree with me that the person in control is the person who asks the questions, type in power is in the question in the comment below. But think about it in a moment. Most people make this mistake over and over again when they're prospecting or generating leads. They also make the same mistake when they're trying to find a date or find their partner in life. Right? They talk and 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 they talk. Kind of like what I'm doing right now, right? If instead I answer the question, acknowledge your question, don't just ignore you, but then ask a question. Do you think maybe I could find out more about what it is you want or need? If you're at a networking event and we're having the conversation, you ask what I do, and I say I'm a corporate coach that generates sales between 15 to 30% in 12 weeks or less. What brings you here today? They would say, yeah, well, I'm here because my boss, he makes me, it's part of my job description to do networking. Oh, really? So you're here by force, not by choice, right? You've been voluntold? Yeah. So what is the goal that you have when you come here? Well, my goal is, I guess, to meet people. All right. So you're looking to meet people, build connections, that sort of thing? Yeah, I guess that'd be why I'm here. All right, cool. Sounds great. How have you done so far? Well, I've collected a business card. All right. Thank you. So you've collected one business card. Is it a qualified lead? Is it somebody to do business with? Not really. So instead of continuing down that role play, because I could go on for 5-10 minutes easy, as I'm a corporate coach in the area of sales who specializes in building relationships, I also have a great program on how to double your leads using only a business card. Yeah, 5 tips. All it takes to double your leads using only a business card. Do you see how that conversation I was just role-playing a moment ago could lead me directly into building their excitement and interest and them realizing themselves that maybe they need some networking training? And based on the feedback I've gotten from that individual so far, do you think I have the purpose or enough passion or reason to go to their boss and go, look, I've been watching your colleagues. I've been watching your team. You send them to the networking event, and frankly, they're great people, but they don't know how to network. Not if you want to invest money. You're investing money in their paycheck. You're investing money in that association. You're investing time, plus the time it takes for them to come back to the office to put the lead into the computer and do the follow-up. And frankly, they're wasting a lot of time. Would you like a simple process that will train them how to network better, build those relationships faster, and qualify leads on the spot in 5 minutes or less? Does that sound like an investment that would be valuable for your team? All collected from talking to the individual by asking questions. See, the good news is it's really that simple. Now, there are 2 types of people in this world. Which one are you? There are those who go around talking and telling people what they need to hear, telling people what they need to know, and just telling people who they are, in some cases of extreme, how great they are. Is that you? Or are you the other type of person? Are you the type of person that truly wants to understand and hear people, to know what they want, to understand what they need, and if you're in business, help give it to them? Or if it's your spouse, do you really want him or her to feel heard? To know that you're on their side, that you are there for them, to protect them, to support them, to assist them in whatever it is that they're trying to do? But maybe you want that from them for you too? Do you see by how instead of arguing your point and trying to be heard, or as Stephen Covey would say from the 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, were you willing to strive first to understand before being understood? Because if you can take that ego and put it on the shelf for a moment, stop, breathe, and ask a question, dig deep, go down below, deeper into that subconscious level, deeper into their mind. Maybe in the case of the argument with the wife or the spouse, you can eliminate that back and forth debate. Catches, you have to do it early. Right? Understand where they're coming from. Ensure they know you understand where they're coming from. And then work together in peace and harmony towards a simple solution. Maybe in the scenario of a client who you have the answer to their problems. But instead of disappearing, dig deep, ask questions, and find out what it is. Like, dig deep to their true meaning behind why they need it. Is it because they are tight on their budget, tight in their time, they don't believe in your product or service? It's not an ego thing, remember? The ego on the shelf. If they don't believe you can do what you say you're going to do, ask a question. Find out what the true concern is, because only then can you answer them. Or if you're out networking and building relationships and just connecting with people or looking to get a date, ask questions, learn about who they are, what are they about, what are they passionate about, why are they here, what is their goals, what are the outcomes they are trying to achieve, and then listen and hear what it is they are really saying, even if they themselves don't quite realize it yet. Because it's amazing how often you'll find that people really don't know for themselves what it is they're looking to achieve. And by asking questions, and here's how you know if you've done this right, they will say, wow, that's a good question. Or, I've never thought of that before. Or, that's a good point, I'm going to try that. If you're getting answers like that in your conversation, you're on the right path. So, could I ask you a favor? If you found this valuable, and you have an open mind, would you mind sharing this video? Because one thing I've noticed out of the thousands of people I've worked with in the business community is that most people are too busy talking, and they don't spend enough time listening and asking questions and truly understanding what people need. So if you found this valuable, could you do me a favor? Could you share this video or send it to someone who you know would benefit from hearing this piece of information? And of course, you could subscribe for more videos like this. Like the video to help me increase my ratings. I would greatly appreciate it. It would be excellent. And of course, comment down below. I want to hear from you. I would love to hear your perspective, your conversations, or your scenario in where asking a question has or could have made a huge difference in your business or your life. So once again, I'm Jason from Uncommon Results. Go to getuncommonresults.com for more videos like this, or check out my YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn. We are trying to be everywhere and value first. So thank you so much for your time. I really do appreciate it. And until next time, I'll see you soon. And of course, if you'd like to have more quality videos just like this, be sure to subscribe or send me a message of what you would like me if you have a question. Maybe I'll shoot a video just for you. Thanks again, and I'll see you soon.